Alright guys, this is my second video ever on YouTube. As I said in the first one, I am a Tesla investor for almost 6 years. This is not financial advice at all, but I consider myself to have gathered a lot of information. I've basically, I'd say every single day, used at least 1 or 2 hours reading Tesla stuff on X, see YouTube videos and project the future. What I present to you is a very, in my opinion, realistic assumption of how the future earnings per share and earnings in the Tesla industry, the Tesla company will go. I tend to see a lot of YouTube videos being overly optimistic and looking way ahead in the future, in my opinion at least. And I think some of the numbers are a bit too complicated and hard to understand, so I'll try and make a very basic, realistic projection of stock price and the overall business. Okay, so just to recap my previous video, which was only the stock contribution from Robotaxi. Very short recap. I came up with 2 numbers for the net revenue per year per Robotaxi based on these assumptions. I will not pinpoint how I made these assumptions. There's a lot of research going into them. Net revenue per year in the base case and the bull case. I projected these in my Robotaxi per year revenue and what it would do with the stock price. You can see the other video if you want. So this video will be an extension of the previous one, except there is now Optimus assumptions as well, with a base case and a bull case. And again, I'll try and be very conservative and realistic, in my opinion. So let's take my Optimus assumptions. These are based on what Elon has said on X and what Google has said regarding the IoT and Optimus humanoid robot business as a whole. For my base case assumptions, I assume the manufacturing price would be around 15,000 dollars, and the sales price 10,000 higher. The sales price is based on the fact that on X, both Elon and Tesla has mentioned that the sales price of Optimus would be below what a car is, a bit below what a car is. I'll take a Model 3, which is around $40,000, I believe, the cheapest one around there, and almost cut it in half. We have the sales price for the Optimus. Manufacturing price would be hopefully a lot lower, since there is not a lot of parts. There is some actuators and of course the computer, which they can replicate from the car computer as well. So I think the Optimus would weigh at least 20 times as little as a car, if not lower. So the manufacturing price should be much lower. And then this gives me a net income per year of $10,000 in the base case. For the bull case, I've plotted in a bit higher sales price, since I believe this is such a new and exciting product in the beginning. They can take an even higher sales price. Some talk about a number like 100,000 or 200,000. I tend to be more realistic here. And then the exciting thing is the recurring price per year. Elon has stressed a lot on X that it would be beneficial to rent out the Optimus robot because it would do such an amazing difference in the manufacturing of your, if you have like a warehouse and the Optimus could replace 10 workers for 5 Optimus, then it's worth much more than 5,000. Again, let's be conservative. Even in the bull case, that companies can rent an Optimus for 5,000 a year and a first price of $30,000, which gives me a net income of $22,000 for one price, and then the recurring price per year is taken into consideration in my model. Okay guys, enough talking. Let's get to the base case model here. As you can see, I have not touched the Robotaxi accumulated amount. If you want to hear the reasoning, go to my other video, the previous one. Basically, this is the conservative base case. The exciting part is the Optimus per year. I think Elon went out on X saying 1 million Optimus per year in 5 years, which is here. To be realistic and very conservative, I've cut that number in half, as you can see, which gives me 500,000 Optimus produced per year, with the accumulated here almost 1 million Optimus per year. And then I've made a line 10 years in the future. And as you can see, Elon even talked, I think a decade from now, he talked about Optimus in the billions, 100 million. Let's take 10% of his number and put it here. So for the Optimus net income, I have just multiplied the Optimus per year production with the net income per Optimus. If I scroll out here to the exciting part, which is the stock price, you can see I get a stock price with Robotaxi and Optimus in the very, very, very conservative base case of stock contributions of $500. Just that number is actually, if you look at it, very impressive, since there is not all other markets including this, like FSD renting, Dojo as a service, basic car sales, basic energy sales and solar panels, which will overtake car sales, I think, in my opinion. I can make an extended video of that as well. So as you can see, and this is also with a PE of 40, which is very, I'd say, conservative as well. If Tesla were to scale both Optimus and Robotaxis with this, which is disruptors in their own right, the PE would be at least, again, in my honest opinion, 100, which would make the stock contribution over $1,000 per stock price for the stock, only for Robotaxi and Optimus. If you multiply all of the car sales and stuff, it would be higher. But again, for the sake of being conservative, let's put 40 here. The exciting part is 10 years in the future, I have Robotaxis at 8 million accumulated. Again, right now they produce 2 million each year. Cars, every car is from this day capable with a hardware 4 and beyond of doing the FSD 14 and forward, which will make it very easy to produce 8 million. I think this number is conservative. The reason why it's so low is because of regulations and rollouts. It's been very hard for Tesla to get the regulations right, just in the US. I consider Europe to be even harder, Asia as well. They will have to do a lot of regulation and politics just to be able to roll out. But when they get going very fast, and this number could be peanuts. For the Optimus per year, I have 10 million. Again, as we talked about, Elon talked about 100 million, and the accumulated is almost 11 million, which gives this net income and a stock price of 2,700 contributions in 10 years just from this, being very conservative with a very low PE. But I think this PE is about right in the future because the company would have matured a lot more. Okay, let's go down to the bull case. Personally, I am much more optimistic than this base case. I'd say if I were to bet all my money on how things would go, it would be somewhere in between the bull case and the base case. So for the bull case, I have the recurring price per year as a subscription for the Optimus as well. That's the only difference. And of course, I have a higher net income per Optimus, since the sales price would be much higher because it's a one-of-a-kind product. For the bull case, we have the same Robotaxi accumulated numbers. We have a higher net revenue per year for the Robotaxi, as per my previous video and calculations. And then we have a Robotaxi in 10 years, total amount of 20 million. Again, it would be piece of cake when they get the unbox process to produce 20 million Robotaxis total. I'd say in about 3 years, they would produce almost 4 million cars per year. And as you can calculate, it's almost like 5 or 6 years in a row for these amount of cars to produce 20 million cars, all capable of Robotaxi. It's only about regulations then, in my opinion. For the Optimus, I take Elon's decade forward-looking number of 100 million, or even the billions, and just cut it in half. And then I have my accumulated Optimus amount. And also for the net Optimus calculations, I take the recurring subscription fee as well and add it to the net income, which gives me an earnings per share of $650. With a PE of only 40, it's very high stock price contributions just from these two. And this is only in 10 years. And to be honest, in my opinion, I think it's not very far-fetched. When Optimus, you see how Tesla uses the stamping for the parts, the gigapress. When they get going with Optimus, it would be a much higher scale, so much less components and complexity of building an Optimus than a car when the whole timeline and process is going. So I don't see why they can't hit these numbers. The only reason why I tend to say somewhere in between is because of regulations and training and how do they deploy these. I'm not in doubt at all that they can actually produce twice the amount of this and twice the amount of robotaxis almost. It's just, can they deploy them and how do they do it? Even in the very conservative base case with a very low PE, stock contributions in 10 years of almost 3,000 is a lot. And this is if everything goes below what I expect. I would like to know what you guys think in the comments. Please bear in mind, this is not just something I put up one day. These tables has been in my Excel sheet for, I'd say 3.5 years at least. And I've tweaked them a lot. And if I scroll up, I won't, but if I scroll up a lot up here in the first rows, you can see all my stocks as well. I would not do that, but I have the entire Robotaxi or the entire Tesla business mapped out as well, and the numbers are higher. Let me know what you guys think. Is there anything I miss here? What are your base assumptions? Am I too high on the net revenue for Robotaxi, too low? The price per mile, the sales price of Optimus? Anything you would do different? Let me know. Peace.